What's up, football fam? Welcome to the channel, your hotspot for epic football stories. Today, we're diving deep into a decade that changed European football forever. From 2010 to 2020, one team didn't just win the Champions League, they hijacked it, dominated it, and made it their personal silverware. We are, of course, talking about the Royal Real Madrid. 4 Champions League titles in 7 years. That's no longer just a winning streak, friends. That's an era that deserves only one word: dominance. Today, we're lining up the ultimate starting 11 from this phenomenal golden decade. 11 players who didn't just collect trophies, but created myths. For every single one of them, we have the essential facts, untold anecdotes, and emotional side stories behind the facade of success. Stay tuned, because this isn't just football, it's the path to legendary status. Let's go. There's an old saying, you win games in attack, but you win championships in defense. That definitely applies to this team. We'll start at the back, where the foundation for every title was laid, with a tricky topic. In goal, it's Keylor Navas. Yes, we have to address it. The legend of Iker Casillas defined the start of the decade, but the absolute European dominance from 2016 to 2018 belongs to just one name. Navas is the man behind the Champions League hat trick who had to stand out of the shadow of Iker and prove himself to be untouchable. Did you know after the 2015-2016 season, he was on the verge of moving to Manchester United? Do you think Real Madrid would have been able to win the next 2 Champions League titles if that deal had gone through? His incredible reflexes and mental strength were the rock of Zidane's era. Navas is the backbone of the relentless success in this decade. Moving on to the right flank, we have a true warrior, Dani Carvajal. He is more than just his right back. He is a canterano, a product of Real Madrid's youth academy at its best. His journey has been fantastic. He first had to take a detour via Bayer Leverkusen to prove himself, before returning as a seasoned professional. This return was one of the keys to dominance. Carvajal is the only player to come through the club's youth system and still start in each of the 4 Champions League's finals won between 2014 and 2018. His tireless running, his heart and soul in every tackle, and his ability to shine both defensively and offensively make him an indispensable pillar of this legendary decade. The heart of the defense, an unbeatable duo that can only be described as fire and ice. First, we have the ice, the quiet giant, the intellectual center half whose career almost began in mathematics rather than on the pitch, Rafael Varane. It's hard to believe that this world-class talent almost went to college before Jose Mourinho personally signed him for Real Madrid from Lille. His speed was often the last resort when the fullbacks were once again on an offensive excursion. Varane was the perfect clean complement to his partner's aggressiveness. He's a quiet record holder, as he is the youngest center back in history to win 4 Champions League titles. And then we have the fire, Sergio Ramos, the undisputed captain, leader, and warrior. Ramos is pure emotion. We must never forget his colossal header in the 93rd minute of the 2014 Décima against Atletico wasn't just a goal. It was an emotional tsunami that literally salvaged the 10th title and enabled the entire subsequent era of dominance. In fact, Ramos has scored more than 100 goals for the club as a defender. He is the goal scorer from defense and the man for the biggest moments. This duo was simply unbeatable. Fun fact, Sergio Ramos had the number 93 tattooed on his head as a permanent reminder of his clutch game-winning goal in the 93rd minute of the Champions League final. On the left side, we have a man who brought pure football artistry to the pitch, Marcelo. To call him a defender almost insults his creativity. He was basically an extra winger. His technicality, brilliant connection with Cristiano Ronaldo on the left side was one of the deadliest weapons in world football for years. Marcelo embodies the offensive unbridled joy of this Madrid era. Here's an incredible anecdote most people don't know about him. He is the second most decorated player in Real Madrid's entire history, surpassed only by club legend Paco Gento. His infectious joy in his dribbling, which often made 2 or 3 opponents look like amateurs, were the emotional driving force on the side. What a backbone for a team. You can really rely on his defense. If you liked what you've seen up to this point, smash that like button. Let's move on to the heart of this unbeatable machine, the midfield. This trio is arguably the greatest midfield unit in modern football. These 3 giants, the anchor, the pace setter, and the maestro, combine technical brilliance, strategic vision, and the necessary toughness to control Europe for years. They were the engine of dominance. We begin in the center with the man who brought crucial balance to this ensemble, Casemiro. If you look back at the time before he cemented his place, Real Madrid often offered spectacle in abundance, but they lacked defensive consistency and toughness, especially in those vital knockout games. Casemiro was the missing link, the unflinching anchor that gave the team structure and stability. He was relentless, mopping up the loose balls, plugging the gaps, and acting as the first bodyguard for the defense. Only because of him could the artists ahead of him truly unleash their magic. The story of his return is an essential side note of this era. Under coach Rafa Benitez in 2015, Casemiro was almost sidelined and considered expendable. It was Zinédine Zidane who not only brought him back, but made him an indispensable pivot. This single tactical decision was a huge catalyst for the Champions League hat-trick. Casemiro symbolizes that the greatest successes aren't just built on superstars, but on discovering and valuing the perfect mosaic piece. Next, we have the maestro, the Croatian magician with the number 10, Luka Modric. His whole career is a triumph of sheer unshakable will. When he joined Real Madrid in 2012, the media instantly labeled him as one of the worst signings of the year. Yet this is the man who went on to win the Ballon d'Or in 2018, breaking the near decade-long duel with Messi and Ronaldo in this competition, a testament to his unbelievable consistency. What many people don't know is that Modric was repeatedly dismissed in his younger years as too slight or not physically robust enough for professional football. But his true strength comes from elsewhere. A moving side fact is that he spent his childhood near a war zone, often hearing shell explosions as a young boy. These traumatic experiences made him mentally indestructible. On the pitch, we only see elegance. His passes with the outside of his foot are pure art. Modric is the creative engine that's not only drove Real Madrid forward, but gave them their soul. The magical midfield is completed by the German Toni Kroos. They call him the Iceman, the epitome of calm even in the most heated Champions League battles. Kroos may not be the loudest, but he is the ultimate passing machine and the pace setter of this golden era. He joined Real Madrid in 2014 right after winning the World Cup and instantly became the undisputed strategic center of the team. He is the quarterback who initiates every attack with surgical precision from deep in his own half. His calmness under enormous pressure, even when 3 opponents are attacking him, is legendary. Watch out! This instant's fact underlines his perfection. In his best seasons, his pass completion rate was well over 93%. It's not just world class, it's bordering on flawless. He simply never loses the ball. When Modric creates magic and Casemiro fights, Kroos ensures that the entire system runs like a Swiss watch. His set pieces are also a guaranteed goal threat, a silent but absolutely devastating perfectionist. Before we reveal the big finale, subscribe if you want to be part of the football fam and catch every epic story. And now for the spirit of the team. We're talking about arguably the most fearsome attack football saw this decade, the legendary BBC era. This trio was a force of nature. Speed, skills, goal setting, they had it all. Their sheer presence made Europe's best defenses tremble and ensured that the Champions League trophy always found its way to Madrid. At right wing, we have the man who was perhaps the most controversial player from this team of this era, but is undeniably the man for the absolute clutch moments. Gareth Bale. He took heavy criticism, yes, but let's talk about the facts that matter. Bale embodies the explosive speed of this side. Who could forget the unbelievable sprint in the 2014 Copa del Rey final against Marc Bartra, where he rounded the pitch and slotted the winner home? Just weeks later, he headed the crucial extra time goal in the 2014 CL final to secure La Décima. But the moment that truly sealed his legendary status came in Kiev in 2018. His iconic bicycle kick against Liverpool. Subbed on, and 2 minutes later, this piece of art. That was the purest demonstration of talent and nerveless composure, silencing the world. He then added a second goal to make it 3-1 from about 35 yards, which, let's be honest, was a goalkeeping howler, but it still counts. The fact remains, Bale was the world's most expensive player in his prime, and despite occasional inconsistencies, he delivered goals in the 3 most important finals of the decade. This is 11. He stands for the unpredictable game-winning genius Madrid needed to absolutely dominate the finals. At the center of the attack is the man who was often underrated but was essential to the entire era, Karim Benzema. Benzema is the epitome of the modern intelligence center forward. He was technically outstanding, a genius at reading the game, and the perfect unselfish strike partner for his attacking partners. He didn't just play as the number 9. He acted as a playmaker, drifting out wide and pulling defenders out of position to create space for his teammates. His consistency is absolutely unparalleled. Benzema has scored in an unbelievable 15 consecutive seasons in the Champions League. That's a record that proves his longevity and unwavering class throughout the decade. In a team full of glamorous superstars and changing coaches, Benzema was the calm, technically brilliant consistent. While others came and went, he evolved from Ronaldo's brilliant sidekick to the undisputed leader after his departure. He is the tactical brain that made this attacking lineup perfect. And last but not least, the man who needs no introduction, the pure embodiment of success, the number 7, the icon, Cristiano Ronaldo. He's the reason we're talking about this dominance in the first place. Ronaldo arrived in 2009 and turned Real Madrid into the European goal machine of the decade. He won 4 Champions League titles with Los Blancos during this period and secured 4 out of 5 of his Ballon d'Or trophies in Madrid. He was the undisputed goal-setting guarantee and the tireless driving force behind the entire success. Ronaldo is not only the top scorer in Champions League history, he was often the sole difference between victory and defeat. His shots, his jumping power, his unconditional will, he was pure dominance in human form. One of his career highlights is undoubtedly his overhead kick against Juventus Turin in the Champions League quarterfinals in 2018. This athleticism is unmatched, and uncomparable precision, and the aesthetics of this goal is simply a piece of art. An astonishing side fact shows his unparalleled professionalism. Through relentless training, healthy nutrition, and discipline, he conditioned his body to be medically reported as biologically over 10 years younger than his actual age. This longevity and top-level fitness explain why he remained the most feared attacker in the world for an entire decade. He's the ultimate record holder of this golden era. And that's the full-time whistle on another incredible story. Take one final look at this unbelievable 11, the essence of 10 years of royal rule. Now it's your turn. We've made our choice, but we want to hear your opinions. Is there a player missing? Would you have preferred Ángel Di María, Mesut Özil, or Isco in this dream team? Which is your personal favorite story of this Real Madrid decade? Tell us in the comments right now. Alright friends, like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more football stories, and we'll see you in the next one, and keep your eyes on the ball.